Welcome to another edition of the eSpot with Camille. The eSpot is your location for the latest in entertainment, beauty, and design from the people who make it. Thanks for joining. It doesn't really matter. Why are you giving away the secrets? You played as a pitcher.
Exactly. I pitched for the New York Yankees.
Is on. So we're getting started. Today, we are with the photographer extraordinaire. I absolutely love this woman because her ability to find the perfect shot at concerts or games, athletic sports events. Yeah, you know how much I know about sports. So just bear with me. If it's not soccer, I have no clue. You've done a lot. Like, you're amazing with all your different art form that you with photography. So can you share a little bit how you got started, how you started working with the Yankees, and show off the bling, because that's probably the biggest rock I'll show.
It's very fun, very proud of it. So, sure. Well, I started basically, my interest blossomed here in Raleigh. I started talking to some local photographers, and they helped me acquire my first cameras, and sort of went with me to buy things secondhand. It was very, very gracious of them. I decided to move to New York City to study at the International Center of Photography, and so decided to move to New York, and that's where I've been since 1995.
Now, you've covered everything from Broadway to the Yankees. What has been like your secret sauce, you think, for being able to adapt to so many different realms of photography?
Yeah, I would say determination and just personal interest, because I love baseball. I really love baseball. So, of course, it was a dream job to, somehow figure out how to work with the Yankees. I love Broadway. So, obviously, Lin-Manuel Miranda, one of my most famous neighbors, really inspired me with Hamilton. So I started spending more time with the Broadway folks after Hamilton hit.
Wait, when you say neighbor, do you mean like physically he was your neighbor, or you just mean like it's a New York thing?
Robert and I, my husband and I, we're both professional photographers. We live in Washington Heights, which is a neighborhood uptown. So
There was a little movie.
In the Heights, a little play, called In the Heights, which was a precursor to Hamilton. So Lynn and his wife and their children, they still live in our neighborhood.
That's amazing. So you see them all
in the park or at the bakery, which is pretty fabulous.
Does he ever
major
sing?
Inspiration. I try when I
invite
see
him
him
to
in the
a birthday
neighborhood. I try to keep it. We're New Yorkers now, so we try to be cool. But Lynn, I'm like hyperventilating every time. But I try to play it cool because I'm a big fan of Broadway and especially Lin-Manuel Miranda.
I'm not promoting, but he did such a great job with a lot of the different soundtracks that have come out and different things. Like, he's got a lot of talents, but we're here to talk about you at the same time. So, with the sports side of it, how grueling was it to catch all those shots, to make sure you didn't get hit by some of those 90 miles per hour balls coming towards you as well?
It was, I did that freelance, so I didn't do it all the time. And you just basically follow the lead of the other photographers that have been there longer than you have, and just always be there. Have your cameras ready and your batteries charged, and just be ready for the shot. Be prepared. That's the best advice I can give you about photography. You have to be prepared.
Now, a lot of times I hear the most annoying, not maybe necessarily annoying, but one of the most common photographer questions they might get is, what lens, what camera? And a lot of times I hear that's like asking an artist what brush. Like, it's not about the tool, it's about how your creativity uses it. Sure. Do you feel about the same way, or do you have?
I don't mind that question, because there are good tools that you can use that will increase your odds of getting a better shot. A nice long lens, a fast lens, a quality lens. So you do have to invest in your equipment. And so no, I don't mind those questions. I think they're important. Your tools are important.
So what would be, you would say, for someone who might want to get started in maybe Broadway or concerts, or I guess the different realms, what would you, for each section, would you recommend would be a good start?
I shoot with Canon, and their lenses are beautiful. And I would say a 70 to 200 2.8 lens will take you from Broadway to Yankee Stadium.
Now, is there any other advice you would give to a new photographer just getting started, wanting to take that leap? Because there have been times I've worked behind scenes and would bring my camera and try to get those shots, and it's just like, it's elbow to elbow. It's very Very competitive, and being a woman as well, like sometimes they're a little bigger than you, so you might get intimidated. So how do you make space for yourself and make sure for other people that may
Yeah.
just get started
Well,
have that?
I do have a little tip for you. Bring a collapsible stool. A collapsible stool is in my tool bag, and whenever I need a little height, if the photographer next to me is 7 feet tall and I need a little advantage, I have a collapsible stool that I strategically position, and I get a little taller.
Well, there you go. So you're telling us how to reach new heights to get that perfect shot.
You have a little step stool in your bag.
Are there any other things that you would like to share about maybe some of the things you had to overcome? Like there were some heartfelt things. Because I feel like a lot of times people in the creative world might give up too soon because it doesn't seem to be working for them. So what was your way of like, okay, this is to help me get over the hump? Or was there ever a time you were close to giving up and it just was right around the corner?
I mean, it can be very frustrating, but what I find the advice that I would give to a young photographer is always be working. Even if you're not working on your own personal stuff that you're passionate about, assist with someone, connect with someone who's doing a documentary or working on an interesting project, and be an assistant. So even if you're not behind the camera, always be working, always be around creative people and doing something that sharpens your sword, elevates your skill level. Just stay busy, and even if you're not behind the camera and getting the big jobs yet for yourself, work with those that are, learn from them, apply what you learn, and keep at it.
So now we're going to switch a little bit of gears because you're here for a very particular event. So can you share a little bit about that and what people are going to experience today?
Absolutely. Today we are in the beautiful Dix Chapel on the Dorothea Dix Park campus. And the Raleigh Film and Art Festival. I actually, I live and work in New York City, but a lot of my family's still here. So I'm actually able to serve as the head of the visual arts department for the Raleigh Film and Art Festival. And one of our, the festival is actually coming up in October, the 6th through the 8th, and we're on Centennial Campus. And that's a great resource for filmmakers and creatives. But our year-round programming, we partner with Dix Park, the Dix Park Conservancy, and we're in this beautiful space. And so tonight, Arts on the Hill is really, it's about building creative community. So we are, as you've already seen, we have the work of a fine art photographer on the wall. And then, just beautiful, beautiful work. You can hear the music in the background a little bit. That's DJ Damu. He's our sound curator. We're going to have a film portion, a short film that we'll screen, and then there'll be a little Q&A afterwards with the director. Following that, our poetry department steps up. We each kind of have a lane here where everybody sort of brings it. It's like a big meal where everybody's bringing a little something to the table, and we all go away very full and happy. So the poetry department will step up, and they will be like some poet laureates and some scheduled speakers. But then after that, we kind of we open it up, and as you walk into the front door, you can sign in for the open mic portion of the evening, which is always just like a hodgepodge of fabulousness and a lot of creatives in North Carolina. I mean, the spoken word community, the poetry community in North Carolina, it's top notch. I came in for the first night and I thought I was at a New York show that I would have paid, spent a lot of money on a ticket for. It was that caliber of entertainment. So that's how. But basically, the evening unrolls as everybody here. We're all artists in different mediums, and then we sort of cross-pollinate. And the people that come in to see the photographs will get introduced to the poetry and the filmmaking side. So when they walk in the door, we want to share with them a couple of different possibilities.
See, I love that because when I'm not working, my favorite places to go are like art museums or just to be around other creative people. It's like breathing air for me. Like I can't live without being around something creative that inspires me, or just composition of things to change, just to inspire myself. So it's even better when it's other people doing it too.
Yes.
Living legends in the making.
Indeed. And if you guys are able to stay with us tonight, I think you'll be very happy with the folks that you meet and the quality of what they bring to the table. I'm very proud of what we're doing here. I'm very honored to be here in Dix Park because I think I've mentioned to you before, my mother actually worked here at the Dorothea Dix Hospital. Christopher, who's the founder of the Raleigh Film Art Festival, his mother worked here. And so we are children of the Dix Park, or the Dorothea Dix Hospital employees. So we feel like we are continuing our mother's legacy by being a healing community, by offering resources, and but we're just using different tools. You know, it's kind of nice.
It's a different kind of art therapy.
It's a different type of art therapy where we can kind of come in the same space where our mothers spent their careers and come and follow their good lead and still be public servants, still bring something to community. But we have a different tool bag, and but it's an honor to be here following in their footsteps.
Well, thank you again so much, Robbie, for being my guest today. Me too. I was like, and what's funny is I went to the same place we had lunch for the first time this weekend. I took my family, and I was like thinking of you. I was like, oh. And then next thing you know, I get home and saw your LinkedIn post. I was like, oh, I'll reshare it.
We were vibrating on the same frequency.
Hello.
Exactly.
I love it. So again, you never know who's going to be the next guest I might interview at Dix Park. So stay tuned. Kyndall Owens, creative artist. You can get her artwork at Northline Museum of Art in the museum shop, and she does live art. So tell me, how did you get started in your art career?
I was just telling someone downstairs that I cannot remember not painting. I've always been into art. I used to doodle everywhere, bring it to church, give it to people, and I just really enjoyed seeing the people's reaction. So I like to do it to bring joy to people.
Now, did you go to school for that, or did you self-taught? Like, how about did you make those steps to become an actual artist as a career?
I did not go to school for art. I like to say I'm a self-taught artist. Of course, I took art classes. I did graduate from NC State with my degree in education. Go Pack! And yeah, so.
Well, I think being an educator takes a completely different art form in itself. So there's that. And so when did you make that step? Are you still an educator, or do you work mainly as an artist? Like, how does that go for you?
So I got my degree in education. However, I never tapped into education. Really, I got it so I could host paint classes and kind of do my own thing with it, but I also landed a job at NC State in the pharmacy, so that's different.
I mean, it takes like an artsy, artwork and painting at events and so on.
I did my first art show, I think back in 2018. I saw one of my friends posted on Facebook that she did an art show, and I was like, I never even heard about those. So I reached out to different venues and just been doing it ever since.
Oh, that's fantastic. All right, well, again, it was so great talking to you, and have a wonderful night tonight. I hope you have a lot of success.
Yes, thank you. And by the way, you can find me on Instagram at creativity, spelled with a K and 3 Ys.